breaking news today.
Please subscribe and then check notification box to get all breaking news alerts.
Florida governor has shocking forward warning to people who are refusing to evacuate. The state of Florida is no stranger to big storms, but Hurricane Irma is a storm that might just set some new records. It has already blown across several island areas and left mass devastation in its wake. Because Floridians have experienced a few hurricanes in the past, they do know a little bit about what to expect, but they also, in some cases, have become complacent about it. Just like with Texans in Hurricane Harvey, far too many people have opted to stay behind and wait it out. According to reports, Governor Scott says that's not a great idea. Look at the size of this storm. It is wider than our entire state, Scott said. Every Floridian should take seriously and protect your family. At least 500,000 face mandatory evacuation in Florida. Mandatory evacuation orders were also given to all of coastal Georgia. I encourage all Georgians in our coastal areas that could be impacted by this storm to evacuate the area as soon as possible, said Georgia Governor Nathan Deal. Nobody is kidding around with this one. We were warned that Harvey would be bad, and it was way worse than anyone anticipated. We don't even yet know just how many lives were lost in that storm, and this storm is anticipated to be even worse. Unfortunately, like with so many people in the United States, a whole lot of people just want to lean on the government to fix their problems after they do something they were warned not to do. The liberal masses especially seem to want to flip the finger at the national laws and then blame the powers that be when something bad happens. The governor addressed that as well. Hurricane Irma's path has shifted west, with the hurricane expected to hit both coasts of Florida extremely hard, with the hurricane being wider than the whole state. If you live in any evacuation zones and you're still at home, leave. Scott warned Floridians at a news conference Thursday, according to Fox News. Do not try to ride out this storm. We can't save you once the storm hits. 10 people in the Caribbean have already been killed by the Category 5 hurricane, which is the strongest Atlantic hurricane ever recorded. We can't save you are some pretty strong words from the governor of a state. Generally, there's a whole lot of "we will survive this together and y'all stay safe" out there by politicians when their state is in danger, but not today. They are not kidding around. If you don't get out, you are taking your life into your own hands. And with the dangerous and imminent nature of the storm, who can blame them for washing their hands of those not concerned enough with their own safety to get out? Irma is almost on top of Florida and the time is now. The eye of the hurricane is expected to hit Florida Saturday night to Sunday morning. Miami-Dade Mayor Carlos Jimenez has expanded evacuation orders to cover Miami's downtown. Miami Beach Mayor Philip Levine referred to the hurricane as a nuclear hurricane and told residents to get out. 4,000 National Guard members in Florida have already been activated, with all 7,000 to be deployed by Friday. Hurricanes are never something to take lightly, but Irma is expected to create mass devastation unlike anything Florida has seen in years, if not decades. The people of Florida, and now Georgia, have been given as much information and resources to get out of the path of the storm as possible, and now we just say our prayers and hope for as little damage and loss of life as possible. And if you are reading this from Florida, leave now. More about the path of Hurricane Irma from Fox News. Hurricane and storm surge warnings were issued late Thursday for South Florida as Hurricane Irma advanced westward in the Caribbean, with a northward turn toward Florida expected over the weekend. Irma battered Turks and Caicos early Friday, with waves as high as 20 feet expected to hit those islands. Communications went down as the storm struck, and the extent of the devastation was unclear. An update at 2 a.m. EDT Friday from the National Hurricane Center showed Irma to be located 20 miles north of Great Inagua Island and about 535 miles east-southeast of Miami, with wind gusts of 160 miles per hour. The storm was moving at about 16 miles per hour, the Hurricane Center said. The Hurricane Center said its storm surge warning covers Jupiter Inlet southward around the Florida Peninsula to Bonita Beach, as well as the Florida Keys. Its hurricane warning covers Jupiter Inlet southward around the Florida Peninsula to Bonita Beach, as well as the Florida Keys, Lake Okeechobee, and Florida Bay. In addition, a storm surge watch has been issued for the east coast of Florida, north of Jupiter Inlet to Sebastian Inlet, and for the west coast of Florida north of Bonita Beach to Venice. A hurricane watch has been issued for the east coast of Florida, north of Jupiter Inlet to Sebastian Inlet, and for the west coast of Florida north of Bonita Beach to Ana Maria Island. Meanwhile, the government of the Dominican Republic has discontinued the hurricane warning for the country's northern coast, the Hurricane Center said. Earlier Thursday, Florida Governor Rick Scott urged hundreds of thousands of people to evacuate before Hurricane Irma makes potential landfall, as forecast models on Thursday predicted the storm moving further west, more directly in the state's path. Thank you for watching this video. What do you think about this? Share this on Facebook and Twitter along with your comments.